Hey, everybody, welcome back. This is Real Estate Uncensored Marketing Roundtable. Now, we are missing one of our co hosts, but he is off having a great time with his family. We're going to be talking about incredible positive things that we've done this year in 2021 and what you guys can put into your business. We're going to hear from Nick Sakis. We're going to hear from Gene Volpe. He's not even here.
How the fuck am I going to hear from Gene?
I don't even know what the fuck I'm talking about, but we're definitely going to hear from Jake Wolf. But until then, here's our countdown. All right, guys, welcome back. Hey, thank you for waiting through our intro. We have an incredible two co-hosts along with myself, Mr. Nick Sakis. How are you, brother?
I'm doing fantastic, but I don't know if I'm doing as well as Jake with those flowers in the background. There's got to be a story to this.
Oh, 'tis the season, ladies and gentlemen. If you don't have some Christmas flowers around your house, I highly suggest that you increase the positivity and the blessings that these beautiful and wonderful things can go ahead and bring to you and your household.
Nice.
Yeah, that is it. They look very nice, by the way, my friend. Very, very nice.
Yeah, thank you.
Something we were talking about before we went on air, ladies and gentlemen, is I'm kind of in a funky monkey mood today for a couple of different reasons. But you know what? Nick and Jake have reminded me to be in a positive mindset and mind, kind of just where I want to go. So we're going to talk about positivity. What has worked for all of us this year to bring business into our pipelines, and what kind of relationships has that built? I think a lot of us don't understand and don't really look at kind of the relationship building, and that's the marketing side. That's the marketing roundtable. That's, who can you go out and bless and prosper so they come back to you. So, Jake, I want to start with you really quickly. What would be, in your opinion, top three things, and then Nick's going to come back to you, top three things that has put business into your account last year? Well, actually this year, but it's going to be last year.
It's interesting, right? You're asking me a question about top three things, but one of the strongest takeaways that I think about every single year at the end of the year during the holiday season is when I self-evaluate and I realize that the execution of how I actually conduct myself in business and the relationships that we started in the beginning of 2021 and all of the conversations and the continued relationships and the new relationships and the work that we performed, you can take a look back and know that those will all amount towards something that was more glorious than when you first started, right? So if you want to go ahead and do a reflection, I think it's very powerful. One, to take a look at all of your actions of 2021, the business that you have had, the successes, the learned from different failures where you had to go ahead and pivot, plus with all of the things that have been coming at us. But I would say a continued drive towards creating quality relationships and taking actionable steps in your life to go ahead and just keep moving forward and stay in motion, keep active. I think it's just so powerful. And that's really kind of the message, Greg, that I wanted to go ahead and get out. And as it pertains to filling up your bank account, look, all of those relationships and the things that you do will equal wealth. And at which level is completely up to you. And that's another beautiful thing, ladies and gentlemen. We are all 100% in control of our outcomes, right? Most of the time. So be responsible for yourself, be blessed and unstoppable. Keep and stay positive regardless of all of the things that are coming at us. And what's really nice in the real estate industry is we are ambassadors to our consumers, and we are there to help them when the market is up and when the market is down, right? And each one of these transactions that we deal with on a daily basis have its own unique mindset and unique infrastructure to it that we have to put the puzzles together, right? So I am a kind of person that loves living life, and I take a look at all of the hours of my day, and I make sure that I'm always and consistently pushing myself to go ahead and make the best out of every moment. And that's one of the reasons I hang out with you, Greg, and with you, Nick, and wherever the hell Gene is. Hi, Gene.
Hi, Gene. Bye, Gene. Okay. No, Jake, that's why we all hang out together, is because we all bring each other up. We all have to find the other human beings, or human being, doesn't have to be plural, it can be singular, that really bring value to your life. Nick and Jake and Gene and Matt and all these other folks that I hang out with, they bring value to my life. So the clients you're going to work with, in 2022 or 2023, 24, 25, 26, 20 million, doesn't matter. Find where the power is and then glean off of it a little bit. I'm not saying to be rude and try to take all of their power away from themselves, but just be a good human and allow yourself to take part in their lives. Nick, what's your thoughts on that?
I think, as far as our own personal gratification, this year has been pretty amazing for myself, for weight loss transformation. Still working through it. Like, there's nothing that has like a finish line or anything like that, right? But one thing that I found is having the gratitude, because we're all in business, and business is very stressful. Like, life is stressful in itself, right? So I want to give a shout out to one of my buddies, Justin Myers, who gave me an exercise like 2 years ago. And so, like, I'm fully aware, like, everybody has something, right? I have a food addiction, right? Food is something that, if I'm happy, I eat. If I'm sad, I eat. It's just part of me. It's something that I deal with, right? So everybody has some sort of addiction. You could have an addiction to working, right? And be neglecting your family and your children. Everybody has something, right? So whenever I'm feeling like that stress building, it typically comes around the idea of, like, why am I not happy right now, right? And my best tip that I can give you, like, looking back in 2021 and before that, is, if you're in a place in your business that you're struggling, if you're a place in your life, right, your health, your wealth, your relationships, your business, like, these kind of 4 buckets, right? You need to come from a place of gratitude, because there's always going to be people that have more than you, and there's always going to be people that have less than you, right? So one thing I want you to do, right? I use a journal. This is bestself.co. You can get one. They're like 20 or 30 bucks.
Oh, those are great.
Take 15, 20 minutes to yourself every single day and figure out how you're feeling. Write down how you're feeling so you can track where your emotions are, right? But as far as this gratitude exercise, right, I want you to sit down and write down everything that you're grateful for. And with the idea in mind, okay, this is very simple. If you lost everything, right? So if you woke up tomorrow and everything that you didn't write down was gone, that's how I want you to do this exercise. So if you don't write it down today on this piece of paper that you're grateful for it, when you wake up tomorrow, it's gone. It's out of your life. So it could be anything from the house that you live in, to the car that you drive, to the shoes that you put on your feet, to the pillow that you sleep on. Like, if you create that giant list of all the things that you're grateful for, it then puts it into perspective as to, wow, look at how much I do have and how much I can be thankful for. And it instantly changes your perspective. It instantly puts you in a better place. And once you get out of that funk, you can start to see a little bit clearer. And that's all this is, right? Life is 10% of what happens to you, and 90% how do you react to it. So if you're going to do something in 2022, I would urge you to find out what makes you happy, double down on the things that actually make you happy, because you actually do it, and then figure out that gratitude. Come from a place of gratitude, because no matter where you are, you have other people are looking at you and would love your life. I promise you.
There's actually you bring up a really good point there, Nick. There was a comic that I saw a long time ago, and it was a guy in a wheelchair looking at a guy who was walking, and the guy in the wheelchair goes, "Man, I wish I could walk." The guy who was walking saw a guy on a bike, and the guy who was walking said, "Man, I wish I had a bike." The guy on the bike saw a guy in a sports car, and he's like, man, I wish I had the sports car. The guy in the sports car was looking up and he saw a jet, and he's like, man, I wish I had a jet. And that's, you have to be thankful for the things that are, right there in front of you, and tracking them, like what you were saying, is one of the most important things. It doesn't have to be super analytical, but track small things. Like Nick has been fantastic in regards to weight loss. Like he tracked that shit, and people are inspired by watching him. Jake is building his business, and people are watching him with an eagle eye going, man, I wish I could be him. You know what? People are watching me in this podcast like, man, I wish I could do a podcast like you. Well, you can do all of those. All you have to do is take action. And this is where Jake comes in with bullets downrange, because I see him nodding, because I know he wants to jump in on this conversation.
Consistent action is so important in life and anything you decide to do, right? Think about all of the times that you've stopped taking those actionable steps, and you just spend maybe way too much time in the learning research mode, things like that. And that analogy that Greg likes to say, I'm a military veteran, and some wiser people than me always said it's very important to consistently put bullets down range. And so if you can kind of get that into your mindset of, if I'm always taking action and putting bullets down range, but that's the things that Greg's talking about. Perspective and gratitude is so important to go ahead and have just deeply ingrained into your body, right? And to be a soul of God and of service. It's so important, right? Tony Robbins said one time, and I think it's very, very relevant to this conversation, especially now coming up on Christmas while we're reflecting back on 2021. And he said, every problem that he incurs, or that he might consider a problem, should be a gift. So think about that, right? You took some type of action. You've encountered some type of resistance. If you perceive it as a blessing and a gift to go ahead and work through, and to go ahead and accomplish and overcome and adapt to, now you're going to have that knowledge. You're going to understand how to deal with it in the future. And those big problems now become little problems in the future, because you've already went ahead and charged through it. So consistent action.
You asked for that problem. Right? When you put yourself out there, when you do something different, you're asking for more problems. So you get what you asked for, right? So then we get upset because we have all these new problems, but that's what the intention was. The intention was the problem. Like we seek the solution, but it's really the problem that you work through that gets you to the solution.
Well, let's take you, Nick, for example, and this goes into business as well, ladies and gentlemen. Nick went out a year and a half ago or more. I don't know the date exactly. And he had a problem. He was heavier than he wanted to be physically. And he put himself right in the line of fire, as Jake would say, put bullets down range. And Nick took action and did something about it. Now, was it fun? Fuck no. Was it challenging? Hell yes. Did he stick with it? Absolutely. That is the definition of business. Do something that scares the living fucking shit out of you every single day. You will grow faster than your competitors. Absolutely. Nick is, you haven't grown, but you've grown, if you know what I mean. Mindset and everything else, and lost in physical weight. Jake has built a phenomenal business with Clever Leads, spelled with a K, by the way, because it's clever. And it's because these gentlemen have done something that's incredibly terrifying. I've done something that's terrifying as well. I'm not going to say it on air right now with you guys, but it's petrifying. But you know what? It's the only way to grow. So let me ask you, gentlemen, 2022 is coming around the corner. Christmas is right around the corner. Nick, what is one thing that is absolutely petrifying that you might want to put into your business or do something in your personal life in 2022? And then, Jake, I'm coming to you.
Ooh, huh?
I know
that's a really good question.
I got the first question, Nick. You're gonna have to go with this one.
Yeah, yeah.
You can do
Okay,
it.
what is it?
I believe in you.
So you know what? I'm re-engaging. So if I was to say going back into the diet mode, so I'm re-engaging on that, focusing on my health a lot more than I was. So I took a little bit of a break, right?
It's natural.
And
Yeah.
and what is the scary part about it right now is I know what it takes. So like I've been on the other side. So this wouldn't be any different than if you, and this happens every single year for business, right? We're closing out the year. And there's a lot of real estate agents that are listening to this show that have had absolutely tremendous years. Me looking back on my health this year, I would say it's been absolutely tremendous. How the fuck am I going to do it again next year?
With support and help.
Right. So like it's, oh, I got to wake up and do this all over again. Right. There is no finish line. So going through the health part of it, even though I was documenting my journey, even though I had the thought process of this is going to be my life from now on, I did think that there was going to be an end to it. And the fact that there is no end to it.
When you say an end, what do you mean you think there's going to be an
Like
end?
I would reach this destination, I'd lose 200 pounds, and then everything would be different, and I would just be completely different.
Well, that's like saying that. I mean, trust me, I understand your thought pattern, but that's kind of like saying, like, you know what? As soon as I find the right girl or the right guy, you know, everything can be roses and rainbows and unicorns. When in reality, motherfucker, that's when the shit fucking starts.
Right.
I mean, that's when the work really, you know, you have to put the work in to keep that consistency there. I mean, my girlfriend, I love her to pieces. I mean, I spend all my time with her. Well, not all, but you know what I'm saying. But I'll tell you one thing: in any relationship, it takes hard work. And so, for your weight loss, for people's business, once you reach a certain level of attainment in any way, shape, or form, at that point, that's your starting line. That's where you begin. That's your benchmark. Now, where do you go? How do you grow? What do you do with it? You know, could you get better? Could you get worse? Do you need to change out? You know, what's it going to look like to make your life the best? But I think that's phenomenal, you know, kind of your mindset, Nick.
How many times do we find ourselves in a position, or have done in the past, or know other people who have always been in the grass is greener on the other side of the fence, right?
Tons.
And when you end up getting to that side of the fence and you realize, oh, it's just not as green, right? These are all experiences that I know everybody has had. And it's so important to go ahead and live in the moment. We talk about how we live this beautiful gift of a life, and it's a non-infinite journey. We don't know when our last days are going to be. We've all had close friends and family that we've lost prematurely, folks that we've known. So it's so important to go ahead and stay in control of your moment. It's what you can control, right? And expect that you're going to have more of these wonderful moments and just be of service. I can tell you what, Greg, to answer your question that you just posed to Nick, for me,
sure,
as far as what would go ahead and actually induce some type of unsettlement in my heart and soul, would be to live a life where I regret.
Oh, that's a good one.
And
damn,
to be honest with you, I've seen some amazing people that knew that they could have taken more action in their life, whether that be personally or professionally. And when all of a sudden 6 months goes by, or a couple years goes by, or they have regretful moments of, I should have been more proactive in my life. I should have done those things. I should not have let fear go ahead and control me. And inside they know that they have the ability, and that internal regret is something that I just don't want to live with. And I don't want to see any single person that's listening or watching this show right now have to go ahead and have those moments. So be of control of what you can control today. And then when you get to tomorrow, control that space too. Be in that attitude of gratitude, and just live a life of action that you will not regret.
Yeah, a lot of us do that. And there was a great story that I heard, and we've all heard it before. I'm going to say it again. Imagine if you're on your deathbed and the Demons or saints or whatever you want to call them are standing around you of what you could have done. And they're saying to you, why didn't you take action? Why am I going to die with you without being revealed? I came to you to be put into life. How many angels or demons or whatever they're going to be, or entities or memories or whatever else, how many do you have right now as you're listening to my voice? How many of those things are going to sit around your deathbed and just say, why didn't you take action? Like, why didn't you bring me to reality? And I've heard this story several times. And it reminds me of a really good Jim Carrey movie. Well, it's not good. It's just a comedy, but it's called The Yes Man. It's Jim Carrey. I mean, let's be honest. But the Yes Man, he was made to say yes to everything for 30 days, no matter what it was. And he got to experience life on a different level because he didn't say no. So I challenge all of you guys out there right now. What if you did take the Yes Man challenge? And what if you did say yes to every opportunity that came your way, no matter if you liked it or not? I mean, you could go to a bar you didn't like. You could go on a trip you didn't want to go on. You could go meet your, mother and sister-in-law or father-in-law who always irritates you, but you say yes. Then you use the power of persuasion. You say, "How are you? Good to see you." Use the Ford script. Family, occupation, recreation, and dreams, and you develop a relationship with them deeper than you could have. What if in 2022 you said yes instead of saying no? A lot of us talk about saying no to opportunities. Isn't that the complete and total opposite way to look at life? Because if you say no, then you don't know what's on the other side. The other side of that door or opportunity could be something that could be magical and open up for you. Let me give you an example, and then I want Nick and Jake to jump in. When Matt and I first started this podcast, we were so scared about how to do this. And then slowly but surely, we opened up the doors to Nick, to Gene, to Jake. Now we're going to have Ashley Chapman, who is our new going to be co-host on the show. We're saying yes to things, not saying no to things. We went out and bought mics that we all can use at the exact same time, so we sound professional. Did we want to pay the money? No. Did we want to spend it? Yes. Why? Because we wanted to bring value to other people. So where can you bring value to another human being, and also bring value to yourself? Nick, I want to hear your opinion on this.
I mean, so health, wealth, business, relationships, right? All these different buckets. I think I brought a lot of value in documenting my journey and being myself this year, right?
You did.
So, and it's funny because you mentioned like buying microphones to sound more professional. I think there's a lot of agents that listen to this show that feel like social media has to be professional. And I think there's a lot of hesitation there of why we don't take action, because we don't feel professional. We don't know exactly what to say or how to say or when to say it. And that gets you into this mode of extreme overwhelm, and then you don't do anything about it. And then you have the regret, like Jake said, right? Instead of coming from the idea that I wonder if 5 people, right, would really jive with what I have to say. Like, it doesn't have to be everything about a closing, right? I talk a lot about branding of your brand is how you make people feel. So if your message, if you are, instead of trying to act like you are there and you have made it, if you come from the contribution side, you are going to get a lot more people in your court that are going to follow you, right? That are going to want to know how to help you and how you can help them, than if you stand on the top of a mountain and act like you are a professional and you have your shit together. Meaning, I'm a brand new real estate agent and I've never sold a deal in my life, and I'm trying to act like I'm a $10 million producer. It's a really bad place to be, right? And I know there is a little bit of fake it till you make it, or, what have you. You want to know, you don't want to scare your customers off to think that you don't know how to write a contract. I'm not saying that, but what I am saying is you don't have to be a professional to help people. Like you really don't. And the people that will come to you when you start documenting your journey, and like, I can't tell you how many people have reached out to me through the weight loss journey that, like, man, I love everything you've done. I can't tell you how many pounds you've helped me lose, and like just all these different stories that I heard, when my intention was not to sell anything. It wasn't to, I wasn't becoming a guru or anything like that. It wasn't for my business. It was literally just me documenting what I was doing. And that's what social media is, right? I will tell you that 2022 moving forward, and we can see it with like the TikToks of the world, the Instagrams, there's, we're in a space now where influencers are a big deal, right? Big brands are paying big time money to get their message filtered through these influencers that have following. So like, your business for 2022 and moving forward is how many people can you influence, right? And who is your tribe? How do you get that tribe? And that's all about being authentic and personable, and
Yeah.
not this professional driving Mercedes, like all that stuff is no good, right? So it's being personable, it's finding your tribe, and you are an influencer first and foremost.
You are, and you're also your own brand. And I think influence can be interpreted in multiple different ways, right? It can be good, it can be bad. But let's say this. When I first started this podcast with Matt, almost 7 years ago now, dude, I got so much hate. I got so much hate because I cussed, and I would make funny jokes. I thought they were funny jokes. Other people didn't think they were funny jokes. And my dad and my mom got calls from their friends going, "Oh my God, your son's so offensive. Like, can you please tell him not to make those jokes and cuss?" And I'm like, "Look, motherfucker, come say this to my motherfucking face." And people were just kind of like, whoa. But that was being true and authentic. That was being an influencer. And then all of a sudden, my parents turned around and said, "You know what, Greg, what you're doing is really good. You're helping a lot of folks." I'm like, yeah, I know. As of this point right now, guys, we have over 2 million downloads on this podcast. We have over 40,000 downloads a month. We could not do this without you. So we're doing something right. So if you get hate in the way you build your business, in the way you run whatever you're going to run, just know that you're being authentically you, and own that to the depths of your heart, because you're, like Nick said, your tribe will find you. My tribe has found me, and we're going to grow our tribe because we have Nick, we have Gene, we have Jake, we have Ashley, we have a couple other folks that are going to be coming up part of our crew. My crew, my homies are here. They will find you as well. All you have to do is stay the course. That's it, gentlemen.
Social media is giving an opportunity for so many of you to go ahead and actually accentuate your brand, get out there. You have to take the action and put in the work, right? Historically in business, when you would analyze a competitor of your company, you would take a look at what is their unique selling proposition. What are they doing? What kind of marketing initiatives are they putting out there? How does your service or product compare to your competitor? And then ye who outspends in advertising and marketing or influence and exposure wins at the end of the day. Everybody's competing for market share. So even in real estate, once you start taking a look at some of the large brokers and some of the groups and teams that are running their business in that same kind of mindset, you see a lot of folks that are spending tens and tens and tens of thousands of dollars and consistently putting out messages so that they have brand awareness, market exposure to go ahead and dominate their competitors. So many folks that are getting into the real estate industry right now are, one, undereducated, lack of experience in actually doing this kind of marketing, advertising, just getting into how do I go ahead and build my brand, get it out there. So you have to be taking these activities and utilizing platforms that are socially available to you right now to go ahead and expose and just be of service. And then start stepping up into the paid advertising world to boost your brand, your infrastructure, your messages that you're putting out there. But if you're starting to get heat, you're in the right place. So you won't ever be able to go ahead and run in the positive direction that you should be running for your business without somebody taking a little bit of heat. Additionally, so many people have gotten so comfortable behind their pretty little cell phones and in talking smack to other people because there just isn't some type of repercussion. So don't let that hit your heart. You have to take these activities, stay true to yourself, whatever that is, and just get out there, stay in motion.
Yeah, I think Mike Tyson said that. He has a quote where it's like social media has made everybody too soft because you can't get punched in the mouth behind a computer screen, right?
Yeah,
you would never say the things to someone's face that you say online. But I want to take a step back real quick, and
okay,
I don't want you to think that when I was just talking about personal brand and documenting your journey and being professional, like there's a time and place for being professional. I'm not saying don't be professional. What I am saying is if you are trying to be somebody that you're not on camera, if you're putting up a facade on social media and it's not the real you, then you will not sustain what it takes. You will not put out enough content on social media because you are always pretending to be somebody that you're not.
That's
so you can be who you are and be professional, but if you're trying to be somebody different, when you go to get in front of the camera, it's going to constantly be this urge of like, I don't know what to say, I don't know what to talk about, because you're putting up this image that's not you. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So if you are, yeah.
It makes total sense, and I think that's a very, very good thing because a lot of folks are going to be getting into the video game and the audio game and everything else in the next year because that's just kind of where life is going. I think your advice there is be authentically you. Look, I cuss, I drink, I like to take naps, I do work. I mean, I'll tell you one thing. I mean, you ask me something, I'll tell you the honest to God truth about it. And people don't like it sometimes. I wear my baseball hats, but I take $5 million listings, 2.1, 3.4, 3.2, another $4.1 million listings. Guys, I show up in flip-flops. I actually showed up to a listing appointment the other day. This is no joke. In flip-flops, shorts, t-shirt, sweatshirt, baseball hat, and a dog. Guess what? The other person had a dog and a cat. And the coolest part about this, all those that are watching this, I'm going to show you how we interacted with the said feline, because that cat firmly implanted itself on my shoulders when we were walking around the property.
Cool.
I did not do that. The cat did that. And you know what? We bonded, over that silly stuff like this. Like Nick was saying, be yourself. Don't ever change. Next year is going to be weird. We don't know where it's going to go. But I can tell you one thing. If you want to go up in business, just up your personal brand. Be authentic. That's real. I think that's the word I'm going to use. # authentic for 2022. I'm going to put that in every single post, because that is what we need to be. Look, if you guys are left-leaning politically, if you're right-leaning politically, or in the middle, if you don't give a shit, don't really give a crap about where you guys stand on that. But if you guys are going to, if you have a stance on, and an opinion on something, stand up for it. Good men and good women will let evil go by when no good man or woman stands up to fight. So be that person for your clients. There are a lot of fucking shitty real estate agents out there that will ramrod you and make you look bad when all you had to do is stand your ground and then put bullets downrange. Thank you, Mr. Jake Wolf.
I think you saw, so like with your podcast, like that's a good example. You know, you were getting heat from your parents because they were still in the old mind frame. Like the podcasting thing was still relatively new, being your authentic self. They were still in the, you have to view yourself as a extreme professional, especially in the luxury market, right? Like that was a big no what you came out doing. It's kind of the same thing that's happening right now with short form video and all the hate that people are getting, all the real estate agents that are embracing short form with reels and TikToks and being outside of the norm for content creation, right? It's exactly what's happening right now, because you can talk to 100 agents that are doing TikToks and reels and their experience with it, and there's 1,000 agents saying, that's worthless, right? Why would I ever sing and dance or what? And they just completely dismiss an entire platform and movement because they think it's one way. They have a perception that it's only this way, that TikTok is only people dancing, instead to really look into it, take their perspective, take their lens off and go, well, there's people on here crushing it. What are they doing? Oh, they're not singing and dancing. They're providing valuable content. Maybe a couple videos they sing and dance just because that's their unique self and they like to do that. But there's people crushing on TikTok right now that are sitting behind a camera just doing informational type videos and not dancing a lick and getting listings, right?
There's a tension there.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, yes, I think seeing where the North Star is and adapting to what's going on for 2022 and beyond, personal brand, micro content is a huge deal. But being your authentic self, for sure, it's the only way that you're going to produce content at scale. There's just no way around it. So you need to really figure out who you are as a person and who you want to attract as a customer, and go deep on that, because you're not going to do what it takes in order to be relevant on social media or any awareness platform if you don't have those things dialed in, right? That's the first phase of with any customer that I take anybody through, right? It's authenticity. Who are you trying to attract? What is your unique message? And how are you getting that to that message to those people? So
Nick, we've reviewed earlier in the year, since we're doing kind of a look back. I know some very strong real estate teams that focus on making sure that they build a weekly email that is very content and educationally rich, and just use email as a delivery tool. But they're taking action and they're actually producing that stuff. It's relevant, or it's hyper local, it's educational in value. But those are the things that are necessary.
And the funny thing is, and since we're in December as of this recording, sometimes you have to slow down to speed up. I know that doesn't make a lot of sense, but I have been in that slow down phase right now. I'm going through some shifts in life, and I have slowed down significantly. And I can't wait to speed back up. I'm going to work with Nick. I'm going to work with Gene. I'm going to work with Jake, a couple other people, and we're going to speed up, and we're going to put wheels to pavement, and we're going to take off like a bat out of hell. And it's because I've allowed myself to slow down. Huh?
It's going to be a fantastic 2022, Greg.
Oh, it's going to be humongous. I mean, we're going to have a ton of new people on our EXP line, and all of us are going to grow together. We're going to build this show even bigger than we ever could imagine. But the crazy thing is that I've slowed down, and when I slowed down, I'm like, is this okay? Like, should I be doing this? And I got a crazy, creepy, calming feeling like, yes, you're exactly where you need to be right now. Tony Robbins. And I love Tony, dude. I listen to that guy literally almost every single day, because every time I listen to him, I learn something new. But one of my favorite sayings, and I say it all the time, life happens for you, not to you. So once you understand that simple phrase, if you're going through a divorce, a breakup, if your business partners are being dicks, if your parent passes away, if a child moves out and goes to college, whatever, fill in the scenario, right? This is not a bad thing. This is just a life shift. So once you understand the life shift that takes place, all of a sudden, everything becomes better, because it's not bad. It's just happening. Then you have the beautiful ability to look to resources to help you get to that next step, or whatever that might be. So let's say you live in San Francisco, like where I'm right now. And let's say some catastrophic something took place. Well, okay, well, that fucking sucked. But where am I going to go next? What's my next step? Who's my next guide in life? How am I going to get to wherever I want to be? I saw a post of a guy, and no, actually a gal, excuse me, out of Australia, who she and I are friends on Facebook. She is selling her business. She's selling everything she owns. The only thing she's doing is packing her entire life into a suitcase and a carry-on bag, and then she's going to drive. And I'm like, damn, okay, that's something pretty heavy right there, but doesn't sound like it sucks. I mean, Jake, you've always said that you could put your life into your saddlebags on your bike and you'd be out of there. Not pedal bike, motorcycle. I clarify that.
What's nice for me, Greg, right, is so when I served in Afghanistan, it was a very tumultuous time, right? It was right after 9/11. Things were all new. I was stationed at Bagram Air Base, the air base that's been recently in the news quite a bit. So I had the opportunity to experience those kind of things, which has really designed who I am as a person. Knowing how non-infinite life is, it's important to go ahead and stay in the moment and control your space on a daily basis. And I tell you what, looking back and now looking forward, and all of the things that I've learned, all of the accomplishments and all of the gifts of struggles to go ahead and learn from, I can go ahead and take everything that I have, all of my net worth, and completely remove it. And all I need is what fits in the saddlebags of my Harley, because in the very next moment, I'm going to be building it back up. I'm going to be taking actionable steps necessary. I'm going to be putting bullets down range. And I think a lot of people that are listening to that show have the same opportunity to go ahead and live in that mindset, in that space, knowing that you've achieved what you need for yourself from a mental and educational standpoint in order to go ahead and just achieve if it was all taken away from you, or maybe it has been taken away from you. I know a lot of folks that have went through in the housing market of the mid 2000s and watched all of that go away. There's a lot of things that come at us, right? But just stay blessed and unstoppable. And if you can live a life of minimalist stuff like that and rebuild tomorrow, it's kind of a pure place to be. So I do want to say a shout out to Mr. Tony. Yes, you did make me smile, and thank you for the flowers, Tony. It has been called off.
You know what? The funny thing is, I tell the story all the time. I went down to $35 to my name back in the early 2000s, in 2008. I also went down to $2.38 in my bank account. Literally $2.38. And I was devastated. I was heartbroken. I was humiliated. And guess what I did? I stood the fuck up, put my pants on, put my shirt on, put my tie on, and I went to battle. Every single day, 7 days a week, probably 18 hours a day. I never stopped. It will never beat me. Guys, it will never beat you unless you let it beat you. I mean, if you stand up and fight and you go after it and you surround yourself with the right men and women, you can't lose. You literally cannot lose. So, gentlemen, we are coming to the end of this show. Nick, how do people get a hold of you? And if they want to see your beautiful face that's ever shrinking, so we can't see you too much, we have to put a bigger filter on you. Where would they go and find you?
Yeah, if you want to book a call with me one-on-one, go to getamplifiedmarketing.com. We do have a Facebook group called Real Estate is a Joke that might be changing for 2022 into something a little bit different. Not really sure, but yeah, be on the lookout for a new group. Yeah, we got some stuff playing there. So if you have any questions about marketing, if you have any questions about, just health and wealth, you want to reach out to me on Facebook, you can check me out on Facebook too. I documented my whole journey there as well. So happy to chat and help as best I can.
There it is, guys. Get Amplified right there. It's on the screen. If you guys want to reach out to him, please do. Trust me, I have. That's why he's the co-host on one of these shows, Mr. Jake Wolf. Now, where would someone go if they wanted? If they're running in a small pack of wolves, but they want to get into a bigger pack of wolves? How would they get in touch with you?
Yeah, come on over to cleverleads.com. Some very cool changes, and everybody needs to be listening to me. We actually just changed some of the models for Clever Leads so that every single person can go ahead and take advantage of this. You can use the actual Clever Leads system as a pay-as-you-go with all of your telephony and everything. It's only going to cost you like $19 a month, and you can actually go ahead and jump in here and start communicating to confirmed homeowners in your marketplace, saying hi and things like that. So take advantage of it. Make sure you check out freemoveusa.com. You have an opportunity to jump in, secure your territory so that you're exclusively the only agent, team, or brokerage in your territory to be able to offer huge value savings. Don't sit around. Take action. Ladies and gentlemen, come on over and get inside the circle while it's still available.
Yeah, he's not a joke, guys. This thing has been absolutely phenomenal in my business. One conversation, 3 deals. Jake and I are launching, and this is something I'm going to share with you guys openly. I'm going to be launching a $1,000 a month campaign for my own business. And the reason why I'm doing this is so that I can show you how to build this on an economical scale. So all of you guys and gals that are out there, don't be afraid of this thing. And again, I don't own a damn cent of what Jake has built. I don't. Nothing. I get no revenue from this. All I'm saying is, if I can do it, you can do it. So, like Jake says, take action, follow up with Nick, get involved in amplified marketing, and yeah, go from there. And gentlemen, thank you for asking. They can get a hold of me at just go to my name, Greg McDaniel, on Instagram or Facebook. Call me or DM me on my cell phone at 925-915-1978. I want to talk about EXP, how you can join our team. We do have exclusive deals with a couple of different companies that only our team's going to have that can help you build your business in a significant way. Gentlemen, final words before we leave the show.
Blessed and Merry Christmas to each and every single one of you and your families. Make it a wonderful holiday. Stay positive. Stay in the right mindset. Get some rest. Enjoy your friends, family, loved ones. Look back on 2021 so you can go ahead and really get ready to charge hard into 2022.
Nick?
So I want to answer Tony's question. So
Which
Tony
one?
asked, is that a power saw on my shelf back there, right over my shoulder? Yes, in fact, it is a power saw. And the story behind that is that was the first saw that I ever cut a piece of wood on with my grandfather, who taught me everything that I know about woodworking. So he actually built a boat with his bare hands in his backyard, a 20-foot catamaran. We built all kinds of stuff together. I don't build as much as I like to, but I do fancy myself a woodworker. Awesome. And I'm keeping that saw forever because that was the first saw I ever used to cut any wood in my life with my grandfather.
Beautiful.
That is awesome. That is the best way to end this show, guys. Go out there and, like Nick is keeping some sentimental stuff from his grandfather. Guys, go out there, spend time with your family, your friends. Enjoy the time you spend with them. Bring them a bottle of wine, a cup of water, a sandwich, a piece of pie, whatever it's going to be. But we have to tell you that we love you to pieces. And we could not do the show without you. Look at this. Mr. Matt Johnson is watching the show. Mr. Michael Famous himself. What up, homie?
Hello, Matthew.
He's in Arkansas. All right. No, not Arkansas, Nebraska. Thank you, Dyslexia. Really appreciate you. Thanks for kicking in right there. But Matt, good to see you, Brother Cakes. But guys and gals, thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Please go out and everywhere that you go. Shut up, Matt. He just texted, "Oh, LOL, how dare you?" But give us a 5-star, not a 2-star review on every place that you guys watch and listen podcasts, because this is what's going to help other agents become better, just like how you are. Have a blessed and Merry Christmas, Happy New Year's, Kwanzaa, whatever the fuck you celebrate. We love you to pieces no matter what. Until next time, peace out, ninjas. We gone.